Welcome to the Not So Fair But Lovely podcast. Today we've got Aarti back in the house and we are going to look at a very special subject that is very close to her heart, the art of journaling. Hey Aarti, how are you doing? Or should I be asking you that question?
That question should not be asked, Ramona.
You know what? Actually, someone told me the other day, which I think was kind of cool. You don't ask someone like, how was your day? You ask someone, what went well for you today? So I thought maybe that's a question I can ask you. And it can be anything. It could be like, I didn't knock my head as I got out of bed or something. I don't know. What went well for you today?
I'm here. That's going well. That's my highlight.
Yay, we made it.
We did.
Absolutely. No, I think we have to celebrate all the achievements, even the small ones. So what are we going to be diving into today?
So today we're talking about journaling, topic that's very close to me and something you also wanted to get into, the space of journaling. So pretty excited to talk about that and hopefully share that wisdom and bring something new to everybody's life.
Absolutely. I think when I was a kid growing up, I kept a diary, but then it was very much, dear diary, today so and so at school was really annoying, and then this happened, and my mum's annoying me. So I'm assuming that we're not talking about a dear diary kind of format. We're talking about something that digs maybe a little bit deeper and serves a higher purpose. So I'm looking forward to you sharing your knowledge in this space and bringing something to our audience that we can all kind of take away and start implementing in our lives. So why don't you tell me a little about what does journaling entail and how you incorporate it into your life, and then we'll take it from there.
Okay, so journaling, like you, actually, I started as a kid. I mentioned in the first episode that I had my own little diary with a lock, and I don't remember who I used to write to, but these days the Dear Diary has changed to Dear God,
Yes.
sometimes Dear Aarti, and sometimes maybe not addressing anyone at all, but just like letting the thoughts flow. So journaling is, for me, it's, my personal definition is getting those thoughts and everything that's floating in your head out of that space where it can just run around in circles and go nowhere onto like paper, where it helps you transfer the energy, channel the energy, and also, usually find solutions to the things that are bothering you or, seem to have no resolution. Or also, another great aspect of journaling is that it helps you to get to know yourself better, because otherwise we tend to be lost in thoughts and emotions. I mean, they're great, they're part of us, but they need to transform into something. Like, what's the next step, from thought to what? Action, thought to clarity, or
So
like...
with what you're saying, like, do you mean when I get up at 2 o'clock in the morning and I'm lying there in bed thinking this and thinking that and 1,000 thoughts, that would be a good time to pull out my little journal from the side of my bedside drawer and maybe just, I guess, pen down some thoughts or what's going through my mind, and then obviously use that as a starting point then to sort of figure out what next or where I want to take things.
Definitely. Journaling can be done exactly. I mean, that's the best time to actually start journaling and use the tool of journaling to get those thoughts out of your head and see what they're trying to tell you, or your emotions, and see where you want to go next. So just pull out that journal and start writing and letting it flow. I feel sometimes we have to have a no rule policy where you don't like try to constrict yourself and try to make sense of
Absolutely.
it. I was talking to somebody in the morning and journaling came up, letter writing came up, and it's a very subconscious process. It's like tapping into your subconscious. Even for myself, when I start journaling, some of the things that come out, I'm like, oh, is that what is really going on?
Wow. It's like, I mean, for me, I often have a lot of conversations with myself, and maybe I should start writing them down rather than just talking to myself in my head. But I think it's like sometimes in the shower, that's where you have your best thoughts. where you actually think out loud, or, like you kind of like almost having a conversation with yourself. And what you're talking about is something that at some point in our lives we all maybe did when we were teenagers, and we had a lot of angst that we had to get out. But I think we lose that sense of writing in particular, because nowadays it's all like about the phone. But there's something to be said about actually putting pen to paper, and that activity of actually taking the time to, I guess, sit down, or just take that little 2 or 3 minutes, stop, pause, and write. And I think, like you said, because when you do that without overthinking, there's a certain subconscious that takes over where things just come out. And I think that's where the kind of the gold is, or that's where a lot of the answers, or
Yeah, the stuff.
the real juicy stuff.
Yep.
Is that what you're saying?
Yeah, so if I can give a quick example, like I mentioned in the morning, I attended a session about healing the body, and I'm having some issues with my leg.
Yeah.
So I went into writing mode. I started writing a letter to
Okay.
my foot. As I was writing, what came up was like, is that I'm trying to sort of self-sabotage a little bit. As in, I'm afraid I'll be lost if I move forward in life. I don't know where I'm going.
Okay.
Being very honest here. Though I have some idea,
Yeah, absolutely.
but I'm afraid to get out,
Yeah.
of the comfort zone. So that's what's coming up. Like as I've got foot issues where walking is difficult because I don't want to wander too far. And then in the next moment, I had a flashback. Now, this may not happen with everybody,
Yeah.
but it did happen with me. I had a flashback of a past life where I was like stabbing my own foot
Oh, wow.
to prevent myself to, going somewhere that I didn't want to go.
Amazing.
It was like, today was real gold, like gold and diamonds. It isn't
Absolutely.
always like that. Yesterday, when I started journaling, I suddenly started, decided to start scribbling, and then I created a work of art instead.
Yeah, that's something I was going to actually ask you. Like, how does journaling apply to different age groups and to different people? So, for example, for kids, someone of our age group, but maybe, sometimes, they talk a lot about art therapy and different kinds of modules that people can use, whether it's for expressing yourself, healing. There may be some turmoil going on inside of you. And especially for children, I feel that, this kind of like mindfulness kind of activity is really valuable, because sometimes, kids cannot articulate necessarily in words what might be going on for them. But when they put pen to paper, or they're allowed to kind of express themselves, I think then, like you said, there's a lot that comes out.
Right.
Is that something that you feel that like anyone can kind of do at any age, and there's value in that for everyone?
Definitely. So this is the fun part, and this is why I switched to art.
Yeah, of course.
Is that like your journal doesn't have to be this
work of art,
dark, heavy place full of secrets. No, but it can be a complete work of art.
Okay.
So feel free to like put stickers, feel free to doodle, feel free to like, keep a paintbrush nearby and some color pens. And sometimes you just want to put pink all over the place. That is also a mode of self-expression and channelizing your energy. Maybe that's what you need at that time, to draw some flowers. That is also journaling for me. It's not restricted just to writing. So for younger people, that is a wonderful way of channeling their energy. And maybe once they are a little relaxed by that drawing and coloring, then maybe the emotions, or they get some clarity and they feel better. They feel safe to express their true feelings and then take action on it. That's, also one way that it can go.
I mean, absolutely. Like, I know a lot of times people say, sometimes when you want to have a conversation with someone, or there's something bothering you, or there's maybe some confusion in your mind about something, they often say, like, write it down, write a letter and express yourself. And then sometimes it's like, don't send that letter, but it's just that the process, or that you actually go through in doing that and getting those thoughts out. So do you feel that journaling in many ways plays a big role in actually helping with our own mental health, and regulating ourselves a little bit, and allowing us to, I guess, like you said in the beginning, put that energy into something that may be more constructive than talking to yourself in the shower, for example. Like, yeah.
Talking to yourself in the shower is great. I get my best ideas in the shower too. So
Some
like,
people sing, and I come up with these amazing ideas in the shower. Okay, it's one of those things. We're all different, I guess.
yeah.
But yeah, do you think it has a big impact, or can have a positive impact on our mental health as well?
Of course, I feel for me, journaling has always been like that, the tool that kind of helped me with my mental health.
Yeah.
And I've always had things happening with me over there. There's been so much going on.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, journaling is a fabulous way, to maintain good mental health. And as you said, today we have a lot of like the phone, we have
Mm.
other distractions, food,
Yeah.
Netflix. But what journaling actually does is physically channel that mental energy, which may not be good for you right now,
Mm.
onto like a piece of paper. So the energy
Yeah.
is actually flowing through you, and that's clearing up your mental body for something new to be planted over there.
Mm.
Even once you've journaled your feelings out, you can start writing positive affirmations,
Yeah.
and you can start journaling about your positive actions that you want to take. So journaling, I think, is one of the oldest. I mean, if random thought coming to my head,
Mm.
I'm sure like all the great philosophers, they didn't have Netflix and any of that.
I'd say
So
not.
like
No.
they would all keep diaries and they would all
Yeah.
journal,
Yeah.
and that's how they went through life. So it's something that we should all keep in touch with for good mental health.
Well, I think it's a way of like you said, and also just recording. Like, you know, I mean, some people, whether it's emotions, whether it's tracking your emotions, whether it's tracking certain other um, food habits or whatever it may be, just to bring an awareness, I think. So I think journaling can probably, take many forms. Um, but for different people at different stages in their lives. But what do you think? Give me like three benefits or three positive things that you have experienced yourself
Mm-hmm.
through the practice of journaling.
So, definitely number one, it has helped me in my mental health and helped me to stay clear,
Mm-hmm.
be stable, and, healthy processing of feelings.
Yeah.
That's number one. Number two is clarity of what next, where I want to go, what needs to be done, because I'm tapping into my subconscious and then I'm digging into those ideas that are all actually already there inside.
Yeah.
And number three, it's kept me also very creative, because I'm the kind of person who, if you open my journal, you'll find a lot of like squiggles
Yeah.
and you'll find some color. So, it's
Mm.
kept that inner child in me alive. And that's really important for us. Just adulting is so hard and like whatever.
It
Inner
can be. It
child
can
is
be.
something we need to keep connected with. Yeah.
Absolutely. No, I think that's you make some amazing points, and I think um, there's so much merit in it, and I think it's about getting back to these small practices that we can kind of encompass in our day. And tell me something, Aarti. When you sit down to journal, I mean, my life looks a little bit different to yours, obviously. I've got
Mm-hmm.
two kids, and I feel like sometimes I'm trying to just catch my tail and going around in circles and trying to steal moments for myself in the chaos. I mean, we all have chaos in our life. Obviously, it just looks different for different people. But like for example, when you sit down to do, meditation or something, is there a process, or is it just as simple as find a quiet space, sit down for 5 minutes and just go? Like, you know what I mean? Like, don't I'm talking about like the not the overthinking, because like sometimes I feel, it might be like someone might think in this to themselves, oh my God, I've got to make sure the lighting is dim and put on a candle and, burn some essential oils. I mean, let's be real. Who has time for that stuff? Like, I'm thinking when I get into
Exactly.
bed, before my eyes close, I would like to pick up my little book from the side, my bedside drawer, and just say, what went well for me today? Even if I write down three things. I mean, I used to keep a gratitude journal, but I feel that I told my kids to do the same, and it was really cute. Once I did have a bit of a sneak peek at my little daughters, and it was like, thanks, Mum, for making me dinner. Thank you for a good day at school. And it kind of like was the same thing every day. So I thought maybe we need to like expand that a little bit. Um, because I feel like sometimes gratitude can, just make us like narrow in our focus rather than kind of opening up and just kind of going, okay, so what went well for me today, I think opens up
Mm-hmm.
a whole like different realm of things to explore. So,
Yeah.
can you give us any advice for someone who might be a little bit hesitant, thinking, oh gosh, how am I going to start? Where do I start? Um, what is something how do you go about it, or how would you tell someone to kind of just give it a go?
Yeah, I would just say like pick it up and start writing. For me, there's no rules. Yesterday, I went to the park and I had a little sketchbook.
Hmm.
So I started writing in that. And then I do have a book by my bedside which actually says therapy on top of it. I
Nice.
need to change that
Yeah.
though.
Yeah, 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 absolutely. Self-expression, just cross it
Self
out.
expression, yeah. If you're going to get too much into the ritual, you're just going to lose the moment. You're going to lose the flow. You're
Absolutely.
going to get
Yeah.
anxious, like, I can't smell the candle enough. And they're all distractions beyond a point.
Yeah, absolutely. I completely
Just
agree.
get
Yeah.
down to it. Get a pen and a book that you like.
Hmm.
Those are the two most important things. The
Okay.
pen you're writing with, you're comfortable with it. For me, like, I'm big on that. Like, my pen should, the ink should flow smoothly.
Yeah, so
And
important.
the book is something that I enjoy and I want to pick up and look at every day, because I'm putting my innermost thoughts and
Yeah,
deepest feelings and my fun stuff in there. So I got to love the book as much.
that's so
So
important. I never thought about
that's
that. That's amazing. Yeah.
so yeah, with that, get creative with the book, like decorate it. That's what I meant, have fun with it.
Mm.
It doesn't have to be like a boring, like black book and whatever. But you know what? If black book works for you, then black book it is. No judgment. But
Yeah,
I'm just
absolutely. If you
talking
want to
about
put if you want to
myself.
put Harry Styles on your front cover,
Yeah, go for
then
it.
if that gets you going, then go for it. Like whatever gets those thoughts and that self-expression happening. I mean, I'm just saying, my kid
Yeah,
would probably do that, not me, of course. Um,
you can do
but
it.
yeah, no, I I did go to the concert recently. But I completely I'm excited when I hear what you're saying because I feel that I've stopped doing that, and I feel that sometimes I think, oh, geez, I don't have that corner in my house where I can just go sit and be, and I don't think that's ever going to happen. I think the reality is it's just about taking a few minutes in a day. Where you do have a little bit of space to yourself, even if that's in the bathrooms before your kids knock on the door, and
Mhm.
just writing down a few things. And like you said, sometimes, I might wake up and feel a bit overwhelmed. Or before I go to bed, sometimes, you have to process what's happened during the day, or there's thoughts flying around your head. And sometimes it's nice to just put some thoughts down and, start your day with either some positive energy or even end your day with some calm energy. I think that's really a nice practice to kind of get into. And I hope, people can really take that away from this chat today and just start, like you said, just find that special, beautiful pen that flows beautifully. I love that because it's nothing more frustrating than a pen that doesn't work. When you want to get stuff down. So I think it's been a very insightful conversation. And is there anything else you want to share with us about the practice of journaling? I mean, I know that you create some really special books. You want to tell us a little bit about the journals that you create?
So thanks for asking that. I do have my artwork on the cover of some journals that I've made,
Mm-hmm.
and also like some I've kept like sketchbooks as in they're blank, because you can either draw in it or you can write in it.
Wow.
And but I am now planning to make a specific like journal with prompts.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just wanted to bring up the topic of journal prompts,
Okay.
where you can trying to create this journal which will have some prompts for you
Mm-hmm.
to ask yourself in case you feel like, oh, I don't know what to write about. So either you can tap into your subconscious,
Mm-hmm.
or there are certain like questions you can ask yourself if you're feeling a little lost and you want a little direction.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm trying to create like not a gratitude journal, but I've done like inner child journaling for people,
Mm-hmm.
and I think that would be a great thing to create a journal around,
Yeah.
for people to access their inner child and see what's around over there that might need healing.
Mm-hmm.
And also again, like maybe day-to-day journaling things, goals you want to achieve, life goals, but the possibilities are endless. And I love that I can put my art on it because I want that art to reach more people
Yeah.
and to make them happy or to inspire them. So that's just my way of, like, bringing it to the world outside.
No, I mean, I've seen your artwork, and I mean, a lot of it is so beautiful and resonates with me, and I have shared that with you as well. And what I was just thinking when you were saying that, I think um, what would be amazing is like little sort of like cards, almost like prompting cards. They could go
Mm-hmm.
along with your journal. Because I sometimes feel that, like for kids especially, like whether it's affirmation cards or something where you could just, like you said, like a prompt
Yeah,
or a thought or a question that you could actually just keep in front of you and have in your mind as you're journaling. I think that would be lovely as well because sometimes, like you said, people like don't know what to write down or it can just become very sort of monotonous. But a prompt is a nice way just to kind of dig a little bit deeper and maybe to kind of like, get the thoughts flowing. So I'm really excited to know more. And I think we'll put a link in the show notes today for people to sort of reach out to you as well to find out more about the journals. And we'll obviously, down the line have them available through our podcast as well. So I really want to thank you, Aarti, for today, for just being here and for sharing your amazing knowledge in this space. And it's really got me excited again about getting back to the habit and the ritual of journaling. I think somewhere along the way I lost that or lost touch, and I think it absolutely would just bring about a lot of peace and sort of more positive energy.
right.
And I hope that we've inspired other people to also take it up again. So thank you so much for today. I really appreciate it.
Thank you as always for having me. I mean, I too also lost touch with journaling, so it happens to all of us.
Hmm.
We just need to get back on track and do things that nourish us. That's what your show's about.
Absolutely.
So, really happy to be here and interacting with everyone as always.
Thanks so much. Thanks, babe. Thanks for joining us today on the Not So Fair But Lovely podcast.